Hello everybody, you tuned to Radio Card Game. With the release of the brand new booster set Savage Strike in the OCG, a new World Legacy archetype came out, Guardragon, and we are here today to talk about it. Guardragon is, as you may guess, a combo-based dragon type archetype that revolves around link summoning, making use of several special summons after the summon of a normal monster. Overall, their effects are quite generic, not only those of the monsters, but the ones of the spell and trap cards too, which is important for the deck in order to combo off or extend with other dragon engines of the game. Since the name of the archetype is Guardragon, the already released in Code of the Duelist World CHALICE Guardragon finds its place in it, being the original Guardragon monsters and synergizing very well with the archetype overall. Even though I expect you to already know this card, it's better to review it anyway since it belongs to this archetype. World CHALICE Guardragon is a level 1 wind dragon type monster with a Ghost Ogre-like claws and a second hand once per turn effect. When a card effect targets one or more of your linked monsters, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to negate the activation and destroy the card. With the second effect, instead, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target and special summon a normal monster from your graveyard in defense position to a zone a link monsters point to. While the first effect is useful to prevent your opponent from targeting your monster with cards like Widow Anchor or Impermanence, the second effect synergizes magnificently with the rest of the cards since there is an in-archetype normal monster. Justia, the Guardragon, is the normal monster and is a level 2 tuner. It gives the deck the ability to use Synchros or even to link summon into Crystal Needle Fiber, at least in the OCG. With Prominesis, the Guardragon, being another level 1 monster, you can now definitely use 1-for-1 in your Guardragon deck, since a lot of the useful dragon monsters have their effect in the graveyard too. With the first effect, you can discard it and target one dragon monster on your side of the field to boost its attack and defense by 500 until the end of your opponent's turn. Even though it's not quick, keep in mind this effect since it will be important for the last section of this video. The second, and again once per turn effect, allows you to summon this card back from your graveyard if a normal monster is sent to the graveyard, but it's banished when it leaves the field. To easily trigger this effect, you can use the first effect first and have a free special summon right after to start your combo. Garmides, the Guardragon, has the same effect of Prominesis, but it triggers from the hand instead, whereas the second effect gives you the chance to retrieve this card from your graveyard by discarding a dragon monster from your hand. As you can see, with both Prominesis and Garmides, you can start your link climbing as long as you have Justia or whatever other dragon normal monster you prefer. The last main deck monster of the archetype is Undrake, the Guardragon. It cannot be normal summoned or set, but only special summoned by a card effect. If this card is special summoned from your hand or deck, you can double its original attack and defense until the end of the next turn. Also, if this card is special summoned while banished or in the graveyard, you can target and destroy one monster your opponent controls. As you can see, it's more of a push for game card than a combo-centric one, that's why its usefulness depends on the version of the deck you want to play. The archetype has 3 extra deck link monsters, all essential for whatever combo you're going to perform, and each of them can be special summoned only once per turn. While they are on the field, you cannot special summon monsters except for dragons. Another thing they have in common is the requirement for the activation effect of their effect. It needs a free zone where 2 or more link monsters are pointing to. LP, the Guardragon, requires 1 level 4 or lower dragon monster and points left. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck to a zone 2 or more link monsters are pointing to. This effect is with no doubt the second best of the entire archetype since it lets you special summon whatever monster outside of the archetype, and there are plenty of powerful dragon monsters, Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon being probably the most common one. Pisti, the Guardragon, is the other link one that points right and requires, like LP, 1 level 4 or lower dragon type monster in order to be summoned. Its effect allows you to special summon a dragon monster that is banished or in your graveyard, useful to reuse monsters that have been banished already, like World CHALICE Guardragon or Prominesis, or even summon back the same monster that you summon out of LP. With both LP and Pisti, you can then use redeem this effect twice per turn. And here we are with the third and last link monster of the archetype and also the most powerful one. Agarpain the Guardragon. It points up and down, and its requirements this time are just 2 dragon type monsters. Since LP and PST summon from basically everywhere, Agarpain can only special summon from one place, and you may already have guessed, the extra deck. But there is a little difference to its text, since it lets you special summon also to an extra monster zone 2 or more link monsters are pointing to, and I'd like to clarify this in order to prevent misunderstanding and misplays. If you have one of the 2 extra monster zone occupied and 2 or more link monsters are pointing to the extra monster zone while it's free, you still cannot use Agarpain's effect and special summon there. Instead, you can do it if you perform the chain of callings from the occupied extra monster zone to the other one. Of course, if both the extra monster zone are free and you have in your main monster zone 2 or more link monsters pointing to one extra monster zone, with Agarpain's effect you can special summon something there. Enough rambling with the technical difficulties you may have with this card. I will go on talking about the spell and trap cards of the archetype, and only later I will mention the best targets of Agarpain the Guardragon. Of course, like every other archetypes, Guardragon has a field spell too, Guardragon's Barrier. You can target one dragon type monster you control, and it gains attack and defense equal to the total amount of link rating on the field times 100 until the end of your opponent's turn. Once per turn, if exactly one dragon monster and no other cards is going to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send a normal monster from your deck or hand to the graveyard instead. Since the archetype has no way to search its deemed spell trap cards, and since using terraforming for a card that doesn't give you any advantage, it's a straight minus, it's better not using this card. Guardragon of the World Legacy, on the other hand, it's the best spell trap card of the archetype, since it further your combo or even helps you with them if your hand is quite bricky. Upon activation, you can target one level 4 or lower dragon monster in your graveyard and either add it to your hand or special summon it. Also, once per turn, you can target one dragon monster you control and move it to the other main monster zone. Guardragon of Corruption is a normal generic trap card, and it's literally an Icarus stack for the dragons. Tribute one dragon monster and targets 2 cards on the field and destroy them. An interesting fact about this card is that it's even stronger in the Erratic archetype, since the monster floats when tributed. The last card of the archetype is Guardragon's Awakening, a continuous trap card that lets you special summon a level 4 dragon normal monster from your hand, deck or graveyard by discarding an effect monster. Unfortunately, it doesn't let you special summon Undrake the Guardragon to use its destruction effect, so I find this card quite useless, even more than the field spell. Maybe it would have been playable as a spell card, since you can discard some dragon monster and still use their effect in a graveyard, but this is not the case. That's it for the archetype cards. Overall, they are good as dragon cards and prompts to Konami for making them generic. Also, the extra deck monsters are really powerful and splashable, even without the main deck monsters, which gives the chance, at least to the OCG, to have a consistent build with very few garnets, while playing all the powerful monsters in the extra deck. A quite good example of this is the Gandora X FTK that came up recently in the OCG. It exists only thanks to cards like Crystal Needlefiber and Blackrim Steam the Cloak, and everything starts from the renowned Armageddon Knight. Speaking of which, I came up with an quote-unquote almost TCG version of it that doesn't use neither Needlefiber nor Steam the Cloak, but still needs one link to Dragon type monster, which I will show you in the next video. The most powerful starter of the Guardragon is the interaction between Erratic Dragon of Nuit and Destrudo the Lost Prison Dragon, or Prominesis the Guardragon. By using their effect targeting Nuit, it will trigger and special summon a normal dragon monster from your hand, deck or graveyard. This lets you go already in a Link 2 and one of the 2 Link 1 Guardragon, LP or PST. Having a third card that provides you another dragon monster is really important here in the TCG, since the lack of Needlefiber keeps us from having a free summon. However, if they will give us the new Link monster Dragonity Knight Romulus, even without Needlefiber, the first dragon monster won't be needed, since Romulus adds Dragon Ravine from your deck to your hand, giving you the chance to send the Extended to the graveyard. Even without Nuit, the deck can still combo off using cards like Prominesis and Guard Midas, or the original Guardragon of the War Chalice. Starting with a normal monster and Guardragon is not a problem, since Imduk, the War Chalice dragon, will provide you the additional normal summon of Guardragon, and which by banishing itself from the graveyard will special summon the normal dragon you first summoned. Since the normal dragon monster is so important, Unexpected Die could be a quite useful card to play. Before jumping into the extra deck, I would like to mention the Collapsed Serpent Wyvern Bastard couple. Even though it could require some setup since the main deck Guardragon monsters are neither dark nor light, they provide a useful card advantage that the deck unfortunately lacks. They are really good after your first turn in order to come back if your opponent breaks your board. But I will not end this video without talking about some good extra deck cards. Starting from the Link monsters, the Border family is of course the first lineup you could think about. Take note that SARYUJA Skuldred is also Dragon type alongside Tribal Bust Dragon that can revive LP, PST or even Agrapane a turn after it's summoned. With Agrapane effect, there are plenty of powerful extra deck monsters you can summon. King Dragoon is probably one of the few fusion monsters truly worth it to summon, since makes all of your dragon monsters untargetable. The once per turn special summon effect from your hand can come in handy too. The other fusion monster is Odai's Vortex Dragon. Its bounce effect triggers if it's special summoned, not necessarily fusion summoned, and the negation could be live if you play Supreme King Dragon Darkroom in your main deck. The Synchro Dragon type monsters, unlike the fusions, are quite a lot. The Majestic couple is probably the most powerful weapon in the Synchro lineup. While Majestic Star Dragon lets you negate and wipe your opponent's entire board, Majestic Red Dragon is an OTK machine with a built-in protection from destruction effect. For negation, we have Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, both with quite high attack. While Crystal Wing negates the effect and destroy the monster, Abyss can negate not only monster, but spell and trap cards effect too. Even though it doesn't destroy, you can still negate important normal spell cards like Pot of Decide, Stall Charge, and so on and so forth. Last but not least, if you know your opponent's deck cannot out it, Build's Diabolic Dragons is for sure a powerful card. Finally, the Exceeds monsters are not as convenient as fusions and synchros since require materials in order to activate their effect, except for number 38 Hope Harbinging Dragon Titanic Galaxy that can negate spell cards and attach them to itself. The other Galaxy Eyes Exceeds monsters are also quite good, since starting from a rank 8-1, you can then climb into Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Foreign Dragon and Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon, which both of them destroy one card on the field, and then up with number 95 Galaxy Eyes Dark Mother Dragon. Dark Mother is actually a key card for this deck, since it sends from the deck to the graveyard 3 dragon monsters that can further your combo or even work as boss monsters, like in the case of a Morphage Goliath summoned by Archbrave Dragon. That being said, let me know in the comment section below what you think about Guardragon and the interaction I talked about. Do you think the deck will have an impact on the meta in the TCG even without Needle Fiber? Do you like these generic new dragon supports, or do you think it will be better if Konami stopped doing them since they are already powerful? I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe. I'm Radio Card Game and I'm out.